Shakumaku guys, today we're making chicken biryani. It's actually one of my favorite dishes that my grandma would make growing up. Biryani is a South Asian dish, but Iraq has its own rendition of it, so that's the version that we're gonna make today. And excuse me if I'm talking with a lisp, I just got Invisalign in, and I'm getting used to talking with the trays, so there is a little bit of a lisp while I am getting used to speaking with them. But let's just get started. I'm gonna start with oil in the pot, the biggest pot that I have because a lot is gonna happen in here. I'm going to start by frying some diced onion, but I'm going to fry them until they are brown. And I'm going to take them out and put them to the side because I'm actually going to use this for the toppings later. So I'm just going to let that fry off a bit, and then I'm going to add in the onions that we're going to use for the broth in. So the onion has browned, I'm going to remove the last part of it, and then I'm going to add in the actual onions we're going to use for the broth. And when this becomes translucent, I'm going to add in our chicken. Adding in our chicken breast, I'm adding 1 kilogram because I like protein. I'm just gonna let that brown a bit and add some spices. Chicken biryani spice mix, you can find it at any grocery store. If you can't, I'll put the exact ingredients here. I'm gonna add this to the chicken and let it brown with these amazing aromas. When the chicken has browned, we're gonna submerge it in water, which is gonna create a beautiful broth that we're later gonna use for the rice. And we're gonna let this cook until the chicken is fully cooked, and then we're gonna remove the chicken and then drain the broth. While we wait for the chicken, we're gonna prep everything else, which includes washing and soaking our rice. Now it's time to prep the potato. We're going to wash it, peel it, and then cube it and bake it in the oven until it's pretty crispy. The reason we're not frying it is because we want it to be healthy, but you can totally fry it as well if that's what you prefer. We're gonna place our cubed potatoes on a baking, it's a heavy bowl, on a baking tray in a single sheet, and then we're going to add some olive oil and then pop it into our oven, which is already preheating at 400 degrees. And we're probably gonna cook it for about 30 to 40 minutes just to get it super crispy while we finish everything else. Our chicken is about ready, so we're gonna remove all of our chicken from the broth. Now that all the chicken is removed, I'm going to drain the broth so that we can use it to cook our rice and infuse all those flavors. Now that we've drained the broth, I'm going to go back into our pot and add some olive oil. And then I'm going to drain the rice as well. And here I have our rice that has been soaking. This is basmati rice, and this is the rice that you want to use, is basmati rice. So I'm going to put this into the pot with the oil. Once we've cooked the rice in the oil for a bit, I'm gonna add the broth that we just drained, and I'm gonna let that boil. So I just turned the rice down to a simmer, and I have water boiling here. It's in a pan because I don't want to do too many dishes. I'm just gonna add some frozen peas to cook them and get them ready. I have some good quality Iraqi saffron that my dad got from Iraq and gave it to me. So I'm just gonna take a bit. This is like super expensive stuff, so we don't wanna use too much. I'm gonna put it into this cup. I'm gonna take about this much, which is even a lot. A little goes a long way with saffron. And now I'm gonna take some of the boiling water from the peas and add it in here too, and then mix it up to dissolve some of the saffron. The peas are ready, I'm just going to drain it. To that same pan, I'm going to add some vegetable oil. And we're going to fry up our slivered almonds and raisins. First, I'm going to go ahead with my slivered almonds and the raisins. All the components are done. We just have the potatoes still in the oven and the tzatziki to make. But now I'm going to go ahead and shred the chicken breast. I'm gonna add the saffron to the rice. It's gonna give it a nice color and also a really nice flavor. I'm gonna make sure I get every single flavoring out of this very expensive spice. I'm just gonna mix the saffron in while I fluff up the rice. I'm gonna add the peas. Half of our slivered almonds and our raisins are gonna go in. Our potatoes, crunchy. Half of our chicken that's shredded. Now we're just gonna mix everything up and incorporate it really well. It already looks so beautiful. Reminds me of my grandma's cooking. Now it's time to plate it. So the reason we only put half of a few of the things is so that we can put it on top to make it look extra beautiful. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put in a bunch of the rice in my bowl. And here we are at Iraqi biryani. I am so excited to dig in. Unfortunately, I just realized that all my cucumbers have gone bad, so I can't make the tzatziki. I'm just gonna have it with Greek yogurt to add some protein to it. But it smells so good, and I'm so excited to eat this, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this recipe. Just like my baby used to make. This is so good. Perfect amount of spices too. Ash, eat it, baby.